Well, good morning. It's Sunday morning. We're in Playa Honda, which you may or may not recognise. There's an aircraft just taking off, actually.
Just landing.
Just landing. Sorry. Yeah. It's Sunday morning. It's still quite early, so it's relatively quiet. We've been down and had some breakfast here, and we're now walking it off. And we thought we'd walk and talk with you as we go along Avenida Playa Honda, which is the seafront road which runs all the way from, well, Puerto Calero to Arrecife, doesn't it, effectively?
Well, Puerto del Carmen.
Yeah, Puerto del Carmen, Matagorda end. Out there you can see the tanker that provides the jet fuel, the aviation fuel for the airport. So it sort of comes along, hooks up to a buoy there and pumps the fuel via a pipe to underground tanks at the airport. Looks like it's pretty much empty now because it's riding quite high in the water. So we had breakfast at La Orilla, Jules. Tell us about it. It was good, wasn't it?
It was really good, yeah. It's right on the beachfront, on the promenade. Open from 9 o'clock, even on a Sunday. So it's closed on Mondays, apparently. And they've got English breakfast if you want it. That's not all we had, though, was it? We were good. We had
tostadas, didn't we?
Tostadas, yeah, with avocado and goat's cheese, salmon.
Poached eggs.
Poached eggs. And
It
a
was
smoothie.
delicious. And a smoothie, yeah.
And we didn't get the pancakes.
We were good, weren't we? There's a couple out there doing some stand-up paddle. Well, one sitting down, the other's standing up.
It's low tide, yeah.
So along here we've got a grill restaurant which we haven't tried before, called Saltire.
Salitre.
Yes, apologies, Salitre. And we had a look at Emax just now, which is a sort of Asian fusion restaurant. And we're kind of straight down from Dayland here, the big Dayland shopping centre. And this is our favourite tapas bar here, Casa Terre. That will be packed with people enjoying a Sunday tapa.
All day long.
Yeah. Now, what's the story on bikes here, Jules?
You can't, only children under 14 can ride bikes along the front in Playa Honda.
Okay.
So you can either get off and walk with it, push it along, or you can follow the red route, which is like a red lane on the tarmac road. That it's a shame, really, because it takes them off the front, doesn't it? But
It does, and my view was that this was the only section they needed to ban bikes from, because you tend to get a lot of kids walking across the road here and stuff like that. And the bikes were coming through too fast. I think it would have been much better just to take this maybe 70, 80 metres and just ask cyclists to dismount and push. We've seen quite a few pushing the bikes. We've seen a few riding them as well, but there was a copper walking along earlier, wasn't there?
yeah. Look at these boats. Look, you've got higgledy-piggledy here, and there's some
This is quite funny actually, isn't it? Yeah.
just discarded anywhere. And then look at those beautiful ones, all lifted off the sand.
And perfectly lined up. And they're all the same type of boat as well. Here's a cyclist riding his bike, which he shouldn't do. Now, all along this front, you've got really interesting information boards which tell you about the sea life that you're likely to see in the area. So you're going to see turtles, rays, angel sharks, dolphins. And you quite often spot dolphins or whales spouting just offshore here. So it is a migratory route for them. There's the nice boats that Julie was talking about earlier. And they're each named after different places on the island. So we've got Mosaga, Lanzarote, Playa Honda, Playa Blanca, and so on.
Guimi as well.
So we mentioned Dayland just now, Jules. It used to be the biggest shopping centre on the island. It's now been overtaken by Open Mall in Arrecife.
But it is indoor. It's the biggest indoor one, isn't it?
That's true.
Because even the Biosphera in Porto Carmen's open, so's the Open Mall. So it's, I would say, Dayland is good on a rainy day.
It certainly is, which doesn't happen very often. And there's a bowling alley there, there's a KFC, a Burger King, quite a few clothes shops, a mobile phone shop.
A few house shops actually as well, sort of gifty shops.
And houseware, yep, you're right. So again, if you haven't been there before, that's worth a visit. Playa Honda is really a big residential area. There are a few holiday lets along the front here, but it's mainly people who live in these streets off the front to our right. Obviously you get great views of the airport from here, and if you walk on around the corner you're literally at the end of the runway. You can probably see a Ryanair coming in there, and there's another aircraft lining up ready for takeoff. He's just literally moving round onto the runway, so we'll see that go up in a minute. So Playa Honda means deep beach. Honda, H-O-N-D-A, is deep, and obviously Playa is beach. It's deep as in not the water, but the depth of the sandy part of the beach, if that makes sense. One of the other things I like about this path is that there are lots of shady places like that one there. So if you are out on a hot day, you can just sit under the shade of one of those with the palm trees and cool down a little bit. Of course, most people choose to stop at one of these small bars.
Have a nice cold beer.
Have a nice cold beer,
down a bit.
exactly.
So what's the length of... Oh, there's the... Just taking off now.
What's the length of?
I was thinking of the distance, so it's about 10 kilometres, isn't it, from Matagorda end to Arrecife?
Yeah. So this is probably just over halfway, or maybe
Yeah.
around halfway, 5 or 6k. So that's a Vueling aircraft. That'll be taking off towards Valencia or Madrid or Barcelona. You'll hear the roar from that in a minute.
There we go.
Palm trees in the way.
So we've got 3 interesting restaurants in a row here coming up. La Orilla, where we've just been for breakfast with the tiki umbrellas.
So that's the first one, and as you can see, it's really busy now. We arrived just as it opened, didn't we? And there were maybe 3 or 4 tables. It now looks absolutely packed.
And almost every table had a reserve sign on it.
Yeah. And the other restaurants?
Nakai next door, which is Asian fusion.
Very good, isn't it?
Really
We've been there a
good.
couple of times.
Yeah.
Wow, the airport's busy for a Sunday. There's another one just coming in now.
And Eric IT, the pizza place, really popular
That's
Italian.
the pizza
isn't it?
place there.
It's not open yet.
And that's La Orilla. Highly recommended. And you'll enjoy the tostadas there. And a friend of ours was telling us the English breakfast is excellent as well. And only, I think it was $5.50, wasn't it?
$5.50, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, apparently it's a very good portion.
And the beach is just starting to fill up down there now by the lifeguard station. We've seen a few people swimming already, but it is early yet. What's the temperature? Is it maybe 21 degrees now?
It feels warmer than that now. I think, was it 19 when we
19 when we
first
arrived.
arrived? Yeah, maybe it's because we're walking.
But my guess is that it's going to be 25, 26 degrees today. And it was beautiful yesterday as well, wasn't it? So we're
Yeah.
getting proper spring weather now on the island. So there you go, that's our little post-breakfast walk along the seafront in Playa Honda. If you haven't done it, we highly recommend it. Have a great weekend.
Take care.
Bye.